Now, why you will never hit your irons as far as you should is because you are missing these two key moves in the golf swing. And once you get these two key moves into your swing, you are going to be getting so much more out of your irons, but you're also going to be controlling that ball a hell of a lot better. Now, the first reason of why you'll never hit your irons as far as you should is because you are coming into the golf ball and physically trying to fire that right arm, extending it into the golf ball. So there is a move to do in place of this, which is way more powerful. So I've got an 8-iron here. Now I'm going to throw my right arm into that golf ball, really trying to straighten it up, punch into the ground like you hear a lot of people say. And it results in some very inconsistent shots. So we can see there I've got out an 8-iron, 142, but it's gone hugely left. I actually struck that relatively quite good. But as we can see, where's our green? Our green's right here. That's quite considerably left. Now, I'm actually a little bit under the weather today, so I'm not swinging it as fast as I would normally. So I probably could get more out of that. But again, if I'd go and really try to straighten that arm into the golf ball, I'm going to lose my speed. So you could still see my intent was still swinging, what looked like relatively fast. So I'm going to swing all these shots, the exact same intent of speed. I'll try to swing at the same clubhead speed, but some moves are better than others. So why that is slowing me down, really straightening up that right arm, is ultimately because when I straighten that right arm, my body has to make way for the shot. So if I go and do it really early, so just before impact, my upper body has to stand up to make way for that right arm to extend. Because of course, when the right arm straightens, the club is going to get more pushed out. So that means the arc of the swing is going to plummet more into the ground. With my second shot we hit there, I actually hit that a little bit chunky because I didn't come up out the way fast enough. So that movement of coming up out the way is going to slow you down. It's going to be like you're stalling out your body's rotation coming into the golf shot. And also, if I didn't time it, which luckily I didn't hit because I don't want to hit any of the walls, again, I could push the club out in front of me and hit hosel shots. One of the most common reasons why I see golfers shank it. So what I want golfers to do instead, I want them to have this right arm bent as they go through the golf ball. It's what we see all the best players in the world do. They will all have their right arm, different varying degrees of bentness going through the golf ball, but they will all be bent at the point of impact. Now, how we actually do that is, funny enough, not actually thinking of that right arm being bent. So, going to do the little key here to keep the right arm bent. And immediately, it's going to keep my body down in posture and turning through it a little bit better. So straight away, again, I didn't necessarily strike that amazingly well, again, because I am slightly under the weather, but immediately I'm on the green, which is great. So the move that's going to keep that right arm bent is going to be staying down on the shot. So that's where, if we're staying down and trying to force ourselves to be a little bit more flexed in coming into that impact, the right arm is naturally going to stay bent on you. I find it really difficult to get that right arm bent by just thinking it and getting students to do it. It's almost impossible to get players keeping it bent on its own. You have to feel like you're staying down on that golf ball to be able to keep it nice and bent. So staying down and turning through is a much better way to be able to go about it. As we can see there, much more normal. I feel like I struck that so well. Again, not feeling the best today, so it is amazing at how when you're under the weather, how much lower you actually swing the golf club in club head speed. I couldn't believe it when I was warming up before filming today at how slow I was swinging. But absolutely, straight away, we've just hit 2 shots there. We've focused on keeping that body more down to keep that right arm bent, keeps the rotation flowing through the shot. And not only have we hit the green twice, we've hit it a much more respectable distance, even if, because as we can see there, now that's obviously the finishing distance, that's not the carry, it carried all right around here, the straightening the right arm shots did. But even if they went the exact same distance carries wise, why would you straighten the right arm when that's the result? Missing the green every time. So it just doesn't make sense. Even if I completely miss this next one left, still averages, it's the better move to do, because it's getting you hitting it straighter, but it does get you hitting it definitely longer. So here, another one, same swing intent, staying down to keep the right arm more bent, and I'll show you a good drill. So there we go, 155, much better. And again, right on that green. So it doesn't only get you hitting it a little bit longer, but also gets you hitting it straighter. Now, I'm going to show you a drill to stay down on it to keep that right arm bent, but here's the thing. For golfers who chronically stand up and straighten that right arm into the golf ball, there is reasons why they do that. They're not just doing it for the sake of it, unless a golfer is physically just trying to punch the ball with the right arm. So that's why I've got tons of videos on my channel, exactly how to stay down more in depth, because we need to fix your root cause reason of why you're standing up. So players can be steep, they need to stand up to re-shallow it. They could have a really closed club face, they need to stand up to square it up. Again, they could have bad posture, they need to stand up just to stay balanced. Loads of reasons why. So you've got to know your root cause reason of why you're standing up. But once you do know that and you're working on it, this is a great drill to keep you more down. So just get a stick, put it underneath your right arm. And what I want you to do is have this stick pointing down towards the ground as you're turning. So stick is pointing down towards the ground as you turn. Now, if we stand up, stick points out in front of you. So down and turn. So, okay, this only gets you doing little half swings, but what you'll notice with this little half swing is you'll still hit the ball a relatively good distance for a half swing. So there we go there. Again, 143, about right for a kind of 3/4-ish looking swing. But again, where is it in relationship to the green? It's on it. So very, very nice. It really stops you from having that straightening, because if you do, again, stand up and straighten, stick is pointing way in front. We want it pointing down as you turn. So the second reason of why you'll never hit irons as far as you should, and that is you are starting your downswing with a bump. So a big old hip bump. So when we start that downswing with that big old hip bump there, what that's going to end up doing to you, it's going to tilt your body away from the target. So your upper body is going to fall back. So from there, it's really hard to be able to create speed. The only thing that's going to happen there is the arms are going to fly out towards the right. Because when we bump, upper body goes back, that seesawing effect, and then we've lost the control of body rotation. So a lot of golfers who are trying to generate some speed from doing that and still trying to turn, so trying to do the old bump then turn, that's where a lot of your bad back issues come from. So again, if I bump and I turn, again, look at the distance and the accuracy. So that actually felt really, really high. Wow. So I might be in direction probably all right, but I think it's going to be short of the green. Absolutely is. Went to the moon. So I really added loft coming into it there, which is very, very common. We see a flip when players really try to do a big hip bump. So again, let's do another hip bump. We'll have a look at it. Quite hard to keep my balance there. So that's very similar, of course, to what we were doing before with the straightening the right arm. Almost gone more left than it. So again, for me, I'm a player. If my rotation stalls, I get very active with my hands, which is why every time here it goes left. Some players who might not time it up as well, they might just block it straight right. Because when we do this, the club path dumps underneath, becomes hard. Let's do another bump. Oh, really felt my hands wrapping over there. That's going to miss the entire range. So that's not what we want to do. We absolutely still want our weight shifting. Don't get me wrong. We want that. We want that pressure moving onto the left side, but the move you are missing is blending that shift and rotation together. Like you're throwing a ball. We're planting and we're unwinding at the same time. So ultimately, what this is, I like to call this the hips bumping down, or even kind of like squatting into the left leg. But technically, this is called keeping your hip tilt. So where the left side of your pelvis stays down as you turn. That keeps the upper body more on top of the lower body as you're rotating, so stops you backing away. So then you can deliver your angles and maintain your shaft lean coming into the ball. What creates shaft lean naturally is rotation and shifting. If we're back here, the only way we could create shaft lean is to shove the hands forward. We never want to physically manipulate bringing the hands forward. Such a big misconception. I've got videos on that in there, but I'll still get video comments on my videos there, people saying that I'm teaching controlling it, shoving the hands forward. I'm absolutely not. I've got videos against doing that. It's a byproduct of shifting and turning. But if we shift and then turn, we're actually just going to end up moving backwards because of tilt. So we want left side to go down and around. That's what we want. Down and around, like we're bumping the hips down, upper body stays on top. We get that pressure shifting, we get the rotation and shifting simultaneously, and then we present good shaft fling. So when I say rotation simultaneously, so shifting and the turn is with that lower body. When we go down and around, it gets that lower body starting first. The upper body is not going to go along with it. So let's hit a few shots there, and then we'll show you with a good drill on how to get it into your swing. So bump down with the hips. Lovely. So I really feel like there, as I'm through, like all my pressure is in my left side, so almost like my left heel, but also on the left side of my foot as well. So that's, for me, a really good indication that I've moved through the golf ball very well. Me with my cerebral palsy, which affects my left side, I quite often have my foot, even when I'm just walking, turned inwards like this. So it's really hard for me to get onto that left portion of my foot. If I'm there, I know I've moved quite well with my tilt. So, lovely shot there. That was the longest one of the day. Again, me being under the weather, I'm pretty sure if I was feeling well, that same shot would have probably gone about 165, maybe longer. It's amazing what being slightly ill does to your club head speed. So again, really bumping the hips down. Maybe slightly left that to the right. Lost a little bit of distance. That'd be a good one to see though. So even though lost a little bit out there, that's my worst shot I've hit today. It's still got an acceptable range for an 8-iron, and it's still hit the green. So that's why these moves aren't just better from a distance standpoint, they're superior from an accuracy standpoint as well. So here we go, one more, then I'll show you the drill. So bumping the hips down, don't bump them left. So here we go, keep that tilt. Lovely, there we go. That's much better. Boom, right on it. Let's show you a drill. So here's our drill. This is one I talk about a lot on the channel, and that is just grab an alignment stick. And what you want to do, you want to put it in your belt loops with a tiny bit coming out on the right, a lot on the left. Now what we want to do, we want to get the stick going down and around as we start that downswing. So down and around. I'm going to make another video about this, of why this was such a pivotal thing for me learning how to compress the golf ball. So, because absolutely, like I said, me with my cerebral palsy, I find it hard to get on my left side. This was a game changer to do it properly, not bumping. I want it going down with that stick and disappearing straight away. Great for hip rotation and clearing the hips also. So whenever we're doing a drill, we're really conscious on the movement. We might not hit it an amazing distance whilst doing the drill, but again, it's getting us learning the pattern. So here we go. That felt lovely. So what I can physically feel in my golf swing, which I dare say there will be some comments about this, is it feels like I'm swinging faster. It does. Again, like I said, probably not as fast as I could do with how I'm feeling, but I physically feel more whip. So it will look like on camera that I'm giving these ones way more than I'm giving the bad ones. But again, that's because those bad ones, the moves I'm doing, is physically slowing me down through impact. So that's going to give it a slower look, where these ones are more keeping that speed, if anything, speeding up. It's exactly what that shot felt like. It felt like I was speeding up going through the golf ball. The intent of my swing speed was the same. But again, not all moves in the golf swing are made equal. One thing I stress all the time in my videos, they're not all made equal, these moves in the golf swing. That one I felt like I pulled it a little bit. Nope, not at all. Again, a lovely shot. Club path is better. Again, even though I said don't expect drills when you're doing them to be amazing when you start off, I mean, I've just hit my 2 best of the day with the drill. So a really, really good one. So even for me, it's something that I've worked on a lot in the past. I feel like I need to still work on this a little bit. It's really getting some better results immediately. So here we go. Again, down and around as we're turning, that's our feel. Again, this is going to make you hit the ball way better with your irons longer and straighter. Felt like I maybe left it out there a little bit. Slightly, face was definitely open at impact, but the path, absolutely almost half the path, so it's come straight back to the middle. I mean, look at this, guys. Every single shot I've demonstrated today of what to do, here it is. The ones not so much, actually. I think there is one here, which was the bad one as well, maybe a shorter one, but here are the others. So, tells you exactly what you've got to be doing. So make sure, number one, you aren't physically trying to straighten that right arm. We want to keep that right arm bent, keep you in your posture. It's going to help you a ton to be able to achieve that. And other than that, make sure you're keeping that left side going down the round to keep your tilt don't be bumping the hips. If you can do those two, you are going to be hitting the ball way further and way straighter, just like you've seen here. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button for more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.